They call them the 6 best monster trucks in the world. And today, they tackle a very tricky course at the Hubert H. Humphrey Metrodome in Minneapolis, Minnesota. And they have 2 sets of cars, 2 lanes to rip and roar. But first, they have to negotiate that incredibly hard starting line. And David Morris of the Equalizer can tell us it's no easy thing to do.
Well, I'm taking off in high gear so that it lugs the motor a little bit. That way it's not just an instant burst to the tires' power and make them spin.
So strap on your seatbelts and get set to go, because the United States Hot Rod Association's Monster Truck Challenge is on the air here on ESPN, the Total Sports Network.
The Hubert H. Humphrey Metrodome in Minneapolis, Minnesota. It's the host for the 6 best monster trucks in the entire world on this edition of the U.S. Hot Rod Association's Monster Truck Challenge. Hi again, Monster fans. I'm Ken Broo. Listen, we got a jam-packed show for you because you get 2 for the price of 1. 2 competitions from the Metrodome. We've got the 6 top monsters racing for 1 title, and we've got 6 other trucks battling it out for a 2nd championship at the same USHRA event. And you're going to see highlights of action involving trucks like Buffalo Tremor, Invader, First Blood, Jersey Outlaw, Tuff-E-Nuff, and No Problem. That'll be a little bit later on. But first, you're going to see all the action from the other bracket in Minneapolis. Monsters like Barefoot, Taurus, Gravedigger, Carolina Crusher, Bigfoot, and Equalizer. Now, Fred Schaefer in Barefoot has lane choice all night because he was the fast qualifier. He takes on David Morris in Equalizer in the first round. Then it's Dan Runty in Bigfoot against Gary Wiggins in Carolina Crusher. Second fastest qualifier, Taurus, with Jackie Willman at the wheel, faces Lyle Hancock and the Gravedigger. You think that was a lot? The voice of Monster Truck Challenge, Joe Lowe, has got infinitely more work to do. Joe, I hope the lungs are working tonight. 2 brackets featuring a total of 12 monster trucks. Good luck, Joseph.
Ken, the crowd is ready, and we're ready, so let's get down to it for monster truck racing from the Hubert H. Humphrey Metrodome. David Morris, the Equalizer, out of Springfield, Tennessee, the hottest running truck on the circuit so far this year. He's going up against the veteran. He was last year's world champion, Fred Schaefer, and Barefoot out of Pontoon Beach, Illinois. Fred Schaefer, Barefoot, David Morris, Equalizer on the starting line. Let's go racing. Both drivers waiting for the green light. And they're off. Fred Schaefer with a bit of a hole shot. He comes off that first set of cars sideways, has to straighten things out. That's all the time David Morris needed to get a win. David Morris taking advantage of some handling problems that Fred Schaefer had off the starting line. You can see it right here. He's out of shape as he comes over that first set of cars. He has to take some time to straighten things out. Meanwhile, David Morris in the Equalizer comes off perfectly and over that finish line. A tough break for Barefoot and Fred Schaefer. One more time off the starting line. The tires are spinning. Meanwhile, Equalizer looking perfect. And there's the difference right there. Fred Schaefer overcorrects, goes over to the other side, the right side of the track, and David Morris, the Equalizer, goes on to victory. And as we told you at the start of the show, this starting line's tricky.
Yeah, they got us started so close to the ramp there. Their tires are spinning when we hit the ramp, and it's kicking the dirt up, putting a lot of loose dirt in the starting line. It's going to be real interesting to see what's going to happen here. They're trying to address the starting line now to see what's going to happen between rounds and between trucks.
And our next matchup, Bigfoot and the Carolina Crusher. Carolina Crusher being driven by Gary Wiggins out of Wadesboro, North Carolina. He's handling the driving duties for Gary Porter. And Bigfoot, Dan Runty up in the cockpit out of St. Louis, Missouri. So a Ford Chevy matchup between Bigfoot and Carolina Crusher. They're on the starting line. Both drivers staged, waiting for the signal to start. That goes the starter, and there they go. Bigfoot spinning off the line. Carolina Crusher just cannot catch him. Matter of fact, Carolina Crusher goes over the finish line at a shake. The head-on shot. You can see both trucks approach the ramp. And Bigfoot is bobbled a little bit to the left. He corrects and goes over the second set of cars perfectly. Carolina Crusher just cannot catch the Bigfoot monster truck. Indeed, he hits the middle of that pile, and that pushes him over to the side. Bigfoot's moving on to round number 2 on Monster Truck Challenge. Look at this starting line. Both trucks just spinning to beat the band. Bigfoot gets a hole first. Now they really turn it on. This is where the horsepower pays off for the big blue Ford. And a full truck and a half lane lead for Bigfoot. And that starting line is on Dan Runty's mind also.
The ramps are a lot different, and how much dirt is getting kicked out on the starting line has a lot to do with it, too.
Our next matchup between the world champion, Jackie Willman, and Taurus. Jackie taking over the driving duties a year or so ago for his dad, Jack Willman Sr., out of Granite City, Illinois. He's a reigning world champion. He goes up against Dennis Anderson's Gravedigger, piloted by Lyle Hancock out of Kill Devil Hills, North Carolina. So it's Taurus, Gravedigger, side by side, looking for that green light. There it is, spinning to beat the band. Taurus spins, Gravedigger digs in, and we could see a lane difference here. Possibly the lanes could show us some difference between the right and the left. Because Taurus did get the hole shot, but he was spinning on that starting line. Gravedigger dug in over the first set of cars first. And that is a great run for Lyle Hancock in the Gravedigger. Taurus coming over any which way. He goes way over to the right, has to really work to correct it and pull things out. Great job of driving for Jackie Willman, but the world champion just couldn't pull it off. Look at the spin on that starting line. Digger digs in, he's over, and really jumps out to the lead right here. So it looks like the near lane is going to be the favorite, but the starting line is on everybody's mind here in Minneapolis.
It definitely was. As you know, you were coming off of concrete going on to dirt, and you just can't get enough traction on the concrete. So it's the first guy who gets the dirt first, and the way to do it is to take the power out of the truck. I mean, it's like your grandma's car. You're burning rubber with the darn thing. You ain't going nowhere. We got set up. We made our pass on the qualifying. I knew kind of putting the tires away a little bit. We came back and made a minor adjustment on the gears and the transfer case. Kind of loaded a little bit more. Took a little horsepower out of it, which is contrary to, you know, what you'd believe. So I figured if I took some horsepower out of it, I could get a hole shot on him. I knew if I got a hole shot on him, I had it made.
So that's it for round number 1, Ken.
You got a feel for Fred Schaefer. I mean, here he is in qualifying, beating everybody. And now, as we move on to round 2, he's on the back of his rig. Second round action coming up from the Metrodome in Minneapolis when Monster Truck Challenge turns the corner in just a moment.
This ESPN program is brought to you by Smooth Bush Beer and easy drinking Bush Light.
Attention Monster Maniacs, the United States Hot Rod Association blasts into your living room with their new home video, Monsters of Rock and Roar. It's electrifying mega motor action like you've never seen before. See mud bog drag racing, monster truck battles, Bigfoot versus Barefoot, funny car tug-of-wars, and more. Meet Boria, the jet dragster that turns into a 2-story tall flame-throwing robot. Don't be fooled by imitations. Monsters of Rock and Roar is not available in stores. Hurry, order now.
Call now, 1-800-345-4100.
We're back at the Metrodome in Minneapolis, Minnesota. Have you ever been here? It's one of America's prettiest cities, but they're not worried about beauty at this point because the 6 best monster trucks in the world are battling for the Minneapolis Championship right here on the USHRA's Monster Truck Challenge. Okay, you've seen the first round. We're all set for second round action on the floor of the Metrodome. We'll see Equalizer and Bigfoot in the first race. Now, you might recall Equalizer beat fast qualifier Barefoot in the first round. And Bigfoot just stomped the Carolina Crusher. I mean, stopped the Crusher right in his tracks. The other pair of semifinalists are Gravedigger. Gravedigger, of course, beating Taurus in round one. And Taurus, who earns the rematch because he was the fast loser in the first set of races. So what we have here is an All-American final from the All-American city, Missouri, Tennessee, Illinois, and North Carolina, all battling for the title in Minneapolis. Here to describe second round action is the All-American hero, Joe Lowe.
United States Hot Rod Association Monster Truck Challenge between David Morris and the Equalizer and Dan Runty and Bigfoot. Both trucks wanted bad. A Ford Chevy shootout, if you will. There they go. Equalizer with the lead off the line. And David Morris pilots the Equalizer to yet another win. And look, he did it in the far lane. The first truck to win in the far lane here at the Hubert H. Humphrey Metrodome. David Morris in the Equalizer, the hottest running truck on the circuit this season. He took out Bigfoot. The head-on shot, you can see it was a rough and tumble ride for David Morris. But the truck comes through one more time. And here comes the world champion, Jackie Willman Jr. and Taurus going up against Lyle Hancock and the Gravedigger. Gravedigger, Taurus, there they go off the line. Digger gets the hole shot. Holy mackerel, look out, Jackie. What a run. As Digger smokes the Taurus for the second time in a row. Look at this truck run. And Lyle Hancock knows he's got to go flat out to defeat the world champ.
I wasn't giving up for nothing. I didn't mean if I had to drive that thing on two wheels, I was going to beat that man twice in one night.
And that's exactly what he did. Lyle Hancock piloting the Gravedigger to another win over Taurus, and he goes against Equalizer in our final.
Well, we've whittled the field down to two trucks, and once again, those trucks are two of the most famous in the world of monster truck racing. David Morris continues his red-hot season with yet another appearance in a championship heat. And Lyle Hancock has overcome some early season disappointments to restore Gravedigger to its place of glory. What it all means is the championships are coming up from right here in Minneapolis when Monster Truck Challenge continues in just a moment. Welcome back to the U.S. Hot Rod Association's Monster Truck Challenge. I'm Ken Broo. We're at the Metrodome in Minneapolis. Equalizer and Gravedigger are ready to find out which one is the baddest truck of them all in Minnesota. David Morris got to the finals with wins over the 2 feet, Foots, Big and Barefoot. Lyle Hancock had to beat Taurus twice on his way to the finals. Right now, Equalizer has lane choice. We have our choice. For all the play-by-play, here's Joe Lowe.
Ken, no foots, no feet, just 8 tires on this great track here in Minneapolis. It is David Morris and the Equalizer, the truck and driver out of Springfield, Tennessee. And he talks about that starting line.
We're coming out of the hole, I think, just right, and we're getting a good start. So if we can just keep doing that, we're not really spinning too much. If we can keep doing that, I think we can take it.
He faces Lyle Hancock in Dennis Anderson's Gravedigger out of Kill Devil Hills, North Carolina. And the starting line again is on Lyle's mind.
It's going to be one of them kind of deals. It's going to stay who's going to stay in the throttle the longest in between the cars. Hopefully we can get up there and get a little bit of, you know, jump on him on the light. Light's a real key problem here. If you don't lead one or the other one, the guy that leaves first has got it made.
The guy that's over the finish line will be our champion here. Side by side, Equalizer, Gravedigger off the line. Look at the power that Equalizer's displaying. David Morris and the Equalizer, an incredible job of driving as he spins it around and brings home to Gary Cook's racing team yet another victory. the equalizer, number 1. The equalizer took on all comers here in Minneapolis, and David Morris, just a great job of driving. Off the line, they're side by side. David Morris really turns it on right here. And look at that lead. A tough track, and David Morris, again, the hottest truck on the circuit. The head-on shot, you can see the digger side by side. David Morris gets a little out of shape, but he holds on to it. And over the finish line he goes.
Yeah, it felt real good. We worked hard to get there. I like to put the truck on its lid on the last round, but that's what it takes to win races.
You seem to have caught Lowe a little bit. He staggered going into the second set.
Yeah, I didn't know if maybe he thought we was going to collide. I think I stayed on my side pretty well, though.
Did you have any concerns when you saw the nearness of the two vehicles?
Well, I didn't know if we was going to hit or not, but I had to keep going strong because I had to take a win.
Take a win he did. Your winner in Minneapolis, the equalizer.
I'll tell you what, David Morris is absolutely incredible. Yet another victory for the truck of the season so far, equalizer. Tell you what, Morris is going to be whistling Rocky Top all the way home to Tennessee. The rate he's going, he's going to take the championship home with him at the end of the season, too. Well, stay with us. We promised you 2 brackets, and you're going to get it. More mayhem from Minneapolis is coming up when another round of bad boys take the track on Monster Truck Challenge in just a moment. Welcome back, everybody. Never let it be said we don't deliver here on Monster Truck Challenge. All the monsters you can handle in one program. We've moved on to the second bracket at the Metrodome in Minneapolis, and we're going to show you now some more hot monster action. Off the top, we've got First Blood and Buffalo Tremor. Then it's Invader and No Problem. And finally, the Jersey Outlaw and Tuff-E-Nuff. And if that's not enough, we've also got working double duty today. The voice of the U.S. Hot Rod Association's Monster Truck Challenge, Joe Lowe.
First up, a Ford Chevy matchup. First Blood and Buffalo Tremor. 2 red trucks side by side, green light. First Blood gets the whole shot. Buffalo Tremor plays catch-up. Not a pretty win, but a win for First Blood.
Yeah, the truck seemed to get a little bit out of shape. It came down pretty hard in the right front, but the suspension seems to be working really well. It didn't bounce at all, and I was able to pull right out of it and take the win.
He moves on. No Problem. John Moore and Ray Burkowski Invader. Off the line, side by side. John Moore pulls it out. A win for No Problem. And John's got to be happy about that.
Yeah, we feel real happy with it. It was a good run. I was happy with it. I'm sure the truck's got a little more in it, and we're going to go out and try to run it a little harder next round.
Next up, Nick Rossi and the Jersey Outlaw against Joey Pittman and Tuff-E-Nuff. The crowd watchers, there they go. Pittman off the line, Outlaw bobbles, and Joey Pittman never lets up.
Yeah, I kept my foot in it there. We had a bad run qualifying, and I really wanted to make up for it this first round. And I might have run the truck a little too hard. It got real hot, but we're going to try to let her cool down, be ready for the next round.
And the next round is up. 2 Ford, John Moore and No Problem, and Rob Bush and First Blood. No Problem's ready. First Blood is ready. The green light. There they go. First Blood off the line. John Moore's playing catch-up. He can't do it. And Rob Bush is in the finals with First Blood. Look at this. He has really straightened things out. That's a nice run for the First Blood Ford. Here comes Buffalo Tremor and Tuff-E-Nuff. The 2 Chevys go at it. Side by side, they stand ready. Tremor with a hole shot. And John Kwasniewski defeats Tuff-E-Nuff. Tremor faces First Blood in the final. And remember that Tremor got here by being the fastest loser. Man, he's got things worked out now. Tuff-E-Nuff trying to play catch-up, can't do it. Buffalo Tremor with a decisive win. He's in the finals against First Blood. Okay, First Blood, Buffalo Tremor. Here's John Kwasniewski of Tremor. He's got driving on his mind.
Well, we're going to give it the best shot we can. That's all I can say now. We got something broken in the front, something broken in the back. We're going to make the best of it.
But he's going up against Rob Fuchsin, First Blood. How's he running?
I raced him the first round and beat him. Whenever John and I race, it's usually a good run. Neither of us like to lose. It should be a really good final.
Well, if you've raced him a lot, then what do you have to do to beat him?
This course is going to be on how smooth you can take the first set of cars, I think. That's where it's going to be won.
Again, off that starting line over the first set of cars. First Blood, Tremor, we're set to go. The championship run. Tremor in the lead. First Blood comes from behind. Whoa, what a run. Your winner, Rob Fuchsin, First Blood. What a great run for Rob. First Blood, the winner in Minneapolis. This is how it went down on the starting line. Tremor gets the lead now. Rob Fuchs firmly planted between the two sets of cars, and he takes off, and he beats him in the air in a wild and woolly shootout.
Yeah, that last run, when John and I get together, it's a really good run, and I knew as soon as I come down, I had to get on it to take John, and everything worked out basically the way I planned it. I tried to clear the first set, and then as soon as it landed, got on the gas, and that's where I pulled him, and he couldn't make up the ground after that.
So Ken, First Blood is your second winner from Minneapolis.
You know, just watching that racing action, you see the depth of talent we have here at the USHRA with not only the 6 best monster trucks in the world, but another group ready to come up here and challenge them for that title. And Joe Lowe grabbed some like Gatorade or something to help that voice, working overtime today. He earned his bucks. We'll be back with a final thought here on Monster Truck Challenge in just a moment. Did we deliver on what we promised? 2 great champions emerging on the program. And I'll tell you what, it's only a snippet of what you can expect when the USHRA comes to your town. For all of us here at Monster Truck Challenge, I'm Ken Broo. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you down the road.